maybe use the scissors as well, carefully. We don't want our hand to be drilled. Yeah, just a little hole. So here they are. So here are all the parts required for this holder. We have here a screw. We have two washers and a nut. And then the parts that we have already prepared. It is important because this is an RF transformer. It may be important that the screw, the nut and the washers are non-magnetic. Not that it matters too much, I guess, but it's better to be non-magnetic. So you can either use plastic ones, nylon ones, or metal ones. These have a very, very light magnetism, but they can be magnetized very, very lightly, but this has proven to have no effect in the inductance of the inductor. Notice that there are two washers here. The one is smaller and the other is bigger. Now you can have two washers of the same size, but if you can find them, then make sure that the bigger one goes to the top and the smaller one goes to the bottom near the PCB material. I will show you now how this holder can be assembled along with the toroidal core. Okay, so the first thing is to take the screw and the first part that we have made, fit this in place. No, it's not like this. First take the screw and the bigger washer, fit this in place. Then take the part that we have made for polypropylenium and fit it like this. And then you take one of these parts we have cut. We may need to do the hole a little bit better, a little bit bigger, and I will do that now using, we can use the cutter for this. To make carefully the hole a little bit bigger, taking care not to cut excessive material. Okay, so now we have a bigger hole. So now I can fit this part there. Like this. The next part is the core itself. And afterwards I'm going to fit this part, but first make the hole a little bit bigger. So I will now fit this part there. And the final part is the polypropylene disc. And the polypropylene disc, along with the screw, will be fed to our PCB. Make sure you center as nicely as you can the core, and then at the backwards I will put the washer and the nut. And I'm gonna tie it up with and even more with the use of the screwdriver. So this is how it looks like, our holder. You see there's a layer, it is sandwiched between the screw, the washer, the big one, the big washer, the polypropylene disc that we have got, the thermal shrink tube, then there's our core, then again the thermal shrink tube, then the polypropylene disc, and at the back the small washer and the nut. All the metal parts non-magnetic or lightly magnetic at least. And we have to use a screwdriver to screw it nicely in place. Now the purpose of the thermal shrink tube is shown here. If you notice these little black areas there, you will notice then that just below these areas there's the coil. Essentially what the thermal shrink tube does is to hold the toroidal core in place. So it keeps it from slipping in different directions. It keeps it firm without disrupting the toroidal the coil onto the toroid. So that's a simple way and good way to do it. And sorry about that. It's a good way of doing it, and you also keep the toroidal core a few millimeters away from the copper metal at the bottom, which might be important for not altering the characteristics of the core. So that's it. Close enough. Closer. Alright. Thanks for watching. Here is Sierra Victor 3, Oscar Romeo Alpha. See you next time.